WFR 91.7 Soul Revival. That last piece is called Father Figure by Toby and Weedway, featuring Black Thought and Royce the 5'9". So Nas, since you're gonna speak some truth now, this is the brother I tried to turn you on to, and I saw your head nodding. So maybe that means you got a little different appreciation.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, Black Thought, you can't just overlook that.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean?
But, but the funny thing is, Black Thought has already dubbed Toby as the next coming, because he said, from his perspective, from his class of MCs,
yeah,
he said as far as the next one to carry the torch to, for the marathon of it all,
right?
He's predicting Toby to be that dude. And I have to be honest, from my following of Toby's career, with the way he built it, grassroots style, building a fan base without the support of major radio. In fact, most of his projects have all been totally in-house produced. Himself as a writer, his wife
really?
as a writer. That's why I love his movement.
Now I gotta do some research.
Yeah, check this dude out. Everything that you would like an artist to aspire to be, as far as being able to handle his business and his art and incorporate his people, Toby is that dude.
Right.
Toby's definitely that dude.
Yeah.
And he definitely has a lot of who I call critical artist cosigns who have assisted in his projects. He's already had Badu on tracks.
Well, that's a real big deal, right?
Yeah.
There.
Badu on tracks. Black Thought, obviously.
Okay.
Royce the 5'9".
All right.
Paul Wall even jumped in on the track.
Is he coming?
Paul Wall, I love his career. Right now, he's in a comfort. He's in a comfortable spot where he literally can just jump on a record whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
Without the worry or pressure of putting out an album of his own.
Yeah.
He's in a real comfortable spot in space.
That's as a for longevity wise, that's an ideal space artist want to be.
Right. And he also invests in other things outside of music, which when you have investments in other projects to keep your paper coming in, you don't necessarily have to rely on the music game as your main bread and butter, especially if you have successful other projects that are going on.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, now the man of the hour, DJ ActingUp is in the building.
Yes, he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. You know what, man?
Say something to the people before we get busy.
Before he say something, I gotta say his on the radio voice is way different from his at the party voice, because he be turned up.
But that's what we want to hear. We want ActingUp to take us to the party this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get there. It's a different vibe once we in this table.
All right.
So but before we get into your set, let's just talk some more about this whole thing. Coalition DJs, and the Wednesday, what do you call it again? The Wednesday?
New Music Wednesday.
New Music Wednesday. Now, that came about it originally started as New Music Sundays, if I recall, right?
Our Philly chapter just set, but like I was saying, our original chapter is out of Atlanta, so they do theirs on Mondays at Stankonia Studios.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So they've been doing this for 14 years. We're going on 15 years now.
Right.
So, our chapter in Philly is 4 years old going on. So this year be 4 years old.
All right, 4-year anniversary. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Right.
Well, look, man, I'm going to stop the conversation because right now you came up here to play some music. So I'm going to let you go in, 30-minute set, and then you're going to come back, talk some more, then we're going to go in some more. You good with that?
Hey, man, we can do whatever
Let's
you want
do
to do. Let's do it.
All right, well, here it is. WFR 91.7, guest DJ, ActingUp. If he ain't clown. Yeah, man. Yo, we do it big up here. For real, we do. So Nas, man, you gotta speak on this set, man. You gotta speak on it.
Set was dope. Definitely took us to the party.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
I said it before, I'll say it again. I was one Heineken away from being in the club. One away.
Man, that's the big thing because, man, I don't even drink no more, so it had to go from drinking and setting the party off, because normally when the DJ drinking, the party goes better, whatever, until they get to that point. But it was a hard transition from that drinking to not drinking and still have to keep the party going.
But you know what, though? That's a good thing, because honestly, I had to learn how to enjoy drinking while at the club, because I started out, I was happy just being in the club. All I needed was a Coca-Cola and a girl on the other side of me, and I was good.
Yeah.
But then I found out about drinking, and the world ain't been the same since.
Right.
I had to find my limit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
Yeah. Just
But-
find the limit. Like, all right, this is the mid. This is where it stops.
Yeah.
So we can enjoy ourselves because
Second thing
we
is,
have wonderful.
I found out I had a high tolerance for alcohol late. Actually, I'm glad I found out late in life, because if I would have found out early, I might be in worse shape than I am now, to be honest. But it's fun. But now let's get back to this thing that we call music and DJing. And first off, for those that don't know, how'd you get bit by the DJ bug? What did it for you?
Actually, man, in 2005, 2004, I was actually, my younger age is wilding out on everything out there to party with, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't like to push that on anybody. But actually, I was at Studio 6 Club True.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with the owners, and he wanted to have a private meeting with his peoples, and he was like, just go up on the booth. We was outside on the deck, and he was like, man, go play some music, man, and just go up there while we talk. And I'm like, well, I'm not a DJ. I don't know how to DJ or whatever. He's like, don't worry about it. Just go play some music. And I went up there and started playing music, and this was CDs at the time.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. 'Cause this was way before.
Right.
Right.
CDJ 9000s, I believe they were when they first came out. And his peoples, they were liking me, and they were like some top dog, like mafia type people, black suited out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he put me on. Ever since then, I DJ'd there. I became a DJ every day at Studio 6 on the deck, and staying out Surf Hotel there. And then I left and had a hiatus, went back down to Florida, down south to the south, and continue. I was a tattoo artist at first, and I continued my tattoo industry there. I went into some mishap where it was very life-changing for me in 2006 in Florida, where unfortunately somebody broke in my house and stuff like that, and unfortunately I'm here, and and whatever, I had to go through that, and luckily it's a self-defense state, so I made it out of that. And then from there we just I came back here to Jersey and was tattooing out the house for a little while, and then I was tattooing somebody, and they had this big old box, 15 inches, two 15-inch in a box, and a little dial and CD.
So
like a wedding setup.
Right, this is the original mobile DJs.
Right, and these things were big. Mind you, I had no driver's license, no vehicle, no nothing at the time, right? So I had a PlayStation and my tattoo equipment, and I was living on my cousin's couch, man, staying on my cousin's couch. And then I seen the equipment tattooing at him in his house. He worked for like Reno City or something like that. So then I was like, you know what, let me buy that off you.
Yeah.
Because I had some prior DJ experience from DJing at the club. So when I came and I just started going, like the first day I got it, the next day a friend of mine booked me to do a little birthday party for her in the backyard. And then from there, a DJ called me. He didn't have equipment. He had to go to the club and bring his own equipment.
Yeah.
Mind you, from there on, I've been in the clubs ever since then, because he didn't know how to use the equipment. I had to show him. And when I got on, and then the people liked me, and they ended up putting me on since then. So I've really been in the club ever since day one. And I never had practice time in my house, but music really saved my life and changed that.
I can dig.
You know, a lot of DJs, actually most entertainers I speak to, that's the one thing we all have in common. If it wasn't for this thing called music, it's really hard to say how and where we would have ended up. I know from my own personal experience that having music, it kept me out of joining certain circumstances, like being out in the streets unnecessarily. My time out, not that I'm a street dude, but when you grow up in a certain environment, it's predicted that most likely you will become a part of what's going on in your environment.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had music to fall back on. So while other people were doing things that were not necessarily productive. And it's funny to me because most of those street dudes and me and my dudes that were artists and DJs, we all ended up in the same parties anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So for them to want to live the street life and us to avoid it, but we all end up like, well, look, man, we've already proven we can all end up in the same party anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's the means of how you choose to get what you want to earn.
And that's what makes the DJ most important.
That's a fact.
DJ controls the crowd.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
So
man.
if you're telling the crowd to have a good time, the crowd gonna have a good time. But if you start telling the crowd to get crazy and fight, that's
what
what's
you're
gonna
gonna have.
happen.
There's power in the DJ booth.
Yeah.
It could be a good or bad situation,
Yeah.
depending
Right.
on how you use it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So
So go ahead, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me jump in real quick. Okay?
yeah,
Listen,
go ahead.
DJ to DJ.
Right.
All right. This is what it is for me because I've seen your progression from when you
Day
first
one.
started to
Day
where
one.
you are now, and I can honestly say you're a much better DJ as time is going on because you learned the nuances of investing in equipment, knowing your crowd, knowing your music, and all I can say is I just see you doing bigger and better.
Thank you very
Just
much.
keep
man.
growing.
Yeah.
So since we're going to bigger and better, what's your next evolution for you as a DJ?
Well, right now, I'm gonna have my own podcast. It's called Acting Up with DJ Acting Up. It's syndicated on Glockaway Radio, which has been a pillar in Philadelphia internet radio for over 27 years.
Right.
Syndicated live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, you name it, we there, Facebook Live. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing on everybody, shedding light to independent artists, local, and DJs. Really, and it's like a freestyle type of podcast. It's going to be organic. It's not doing research on anyone or anybody like that. We're just going to freestyle it right from the rip. It's going to be an hour interview on artists and DJs. DJs, tap in with me because we really don't have a platform for it where DJs can express themselves like
Right,
that.
right.
So tap in with me, man. You can bring your friends on there, do what you like let's make it a party.
Yeah.
Let's make it a vibe, man. And it's on to big things like that. I mean, right now, lately, I just been DJing for a lot of celebrities lately. And with this coalition thing, man, focusing on the coalition, focusing on my personal endeavors as a DJ in my career, and branding DJ Acting Up out there even bigger than what it is and becoming a household name now. It's just, this year we're going worldwide, not just here now. So it's time for passports and
I was about to say,
trips.
because you got that paperwork you're doing overseas now.
So Acting Up, what do you like the best to DJ as far as parties, big venues, clubs? What gets DJ Acting Up in his zone where you there?
Of course, the money for me now at this point. It's depending on what the budget is, who you going to get out there as far as DJ Acting Up, because there's different levels for different budgets of DJ Acting Up. That's what you're going to get. So, basically, so now, I'm a DJ. So I can't answer that question. So I'll DJ if you got some new shoelaces. So that's just me. I won't even bat an eye. We can link up anytime. So being in the club, everybody's a celebrity to me, man. Like everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I that's always been me. Even me as a barber, as a DJ, different trades and stuff like that. Everything I do is with people, and I'm about like seeing everybody win and prosper. Like I always say, I don't care who's eating the most. You can eat more than me as long as I'm eating.
Yeah.
So therefore, as far as DJ, I just love bringing the joy to people. For me right now, what amazes me in my career as right now is that I watch these people on TV as I grew up. Their videos on BET, MTV, everywhere. They're like everywhere, and it's just, I never thought that I would be in the mix with these
Shaking
celebrities.
hands, rubbing elbows.
I mean, it goes beyond that. I'm going to dinner with these folks, with their families. I'm DJing their families. Even I'm not only just hanging out with them. I'm making money. They putting money in me, and I'm feeding my children with these people. And it's like, that's the biggest part for me. It's like I never thought it would be here, and this is all thanks to that higher power above, man. It's like he really blessing me for whatever reason, and I always keep my faith in the higher power.
Absolutely.
Even when I'm down, I never worry, man. They say cast your worries upon him, and I just do that. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's the most important part of business? Everybody thinks it's the money. It's the relationships.
Relationship is the network, man.
Yeah.
If you ain't got no
That's
network,
it.
man, it's not it's your net worth, and that's all day, man.
I tell you one of my favorite acting up moments, and I'm just speaking from the perspective of an outsider watching, because even though we don't chop it up every day, I still like to drop in on my people's pages just to see what they're doing and how they're doing.
He'll stop in on me wherever I'm at, if I'm in the Atlantic City area, and surprise me. And let me tell y'all, not to interject on what you're doing, but DJ Abel really see me from day one of coming back here and really starting off when I was faking it to me. I ain't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I was just there. Like, I really had to learn what I was doing in clubs, in bars, in front of people. I didn't have that opportunity and luxury to DJ in my house. So I started off my cousin's couch. So back to what you were saying.
I said, one of my favorite moments, because things have changed so much in this current era. You got the DJ in one of the spots that, quite honestly, I never would have even thought it would be a possibility to DJ in the spot, and it was at the Met in Philly.
Oh, yes, man.
That is, first off, I've seen a lot of great live performances, classic performances. I mean, legendary people perform at the Met.
Right.
But it was never really geared toward being any type of hip hop type of venue. Ever. So the idea of performing at the Met never even crossed my mind because of the type of venue it was built on.
Oh, man.
But when I saw that,
was amazing.
I'm like,
man.
yo, things are really starting to change around here. Because I'm seeing hip hop expand and go into places that
never went before.
And it kind of reminded me of that time when MC Light got to perform at Carnegie Hall. She was the first one to perform it. So when I saw the image of you and that whole hip hop show take place, I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like it's like a reemergence of a renaissance of this thing called hip hop. Mm-hmm. It's like the second coming of an already great thing that was established. And I got to have a little bit of that experience this past summer. I got to DJ for a jazz festival. Never thought that would happen for you. And I'm talking about I'm on stage.
That's dope.
With artists like Bob James, who is one of the most sampled.
Bob James.
Run DMC.
Wow. Everybody.
I mean, I could go on. Bob James is an artist who has been sampled by just about every hip hop artist ever. Even Wu-Tang have sampled some Bob James, and I got to be on the same stage as a Bob James.
That right there is epic. That's epic.
So yeah, man. So I get that feeling that you're living right now because like I said, I never thought that would happen for me. Out of all the DJs that I know that could have done that, it just happened to fall in my lap. I'm like, yes, I would do that.
And that's how it goes. Yup, it just falls in your lap sometimes, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely, man. But actually, I did actually a couple shows there, and I have a couple more shows set up. But actually, we're doing fashion shows, man. It's called the Philadelphia Storm of Fashion, actually, man, with EA Everyday Hip Hop on Deck is his name. And Mama Jones and everybody, and which is Jim Jones' mom. So it's a lot of people. We got top model Yana up in there. She's running it. So it's real big, man. But I do a lot of stuff in Philly, you know. Yeah, we got another show coming up. I believe is June 3rd.
Okay.
At the Met. Right now, I don't have all my information and dates. I don't want to get to the line to you. I just know when I gotta show up. I mean, they just tell me when I gotta show up, and then I never plan nothing out. Everything's freestyle, so I just show up. I'm prepared for everything, so it's like.
Well, that's what I gotta follow you on the gram.
Right, they follow me, man, out there. I'm doing a lot of stuff in Philly. like I said, the Philly Store of Fashion. I have the Glockerware podcast, my own podcast, plus Fridays I DJ on there as well for Hip Hop on Deck Radio.
Okay.
I got so much stuff. I DJ for Coalition, DJs plus City of Dreams Coalition out of Philly and Block by Block Entertainment that's with all these guys like Freeway and all of that. You know,
I've been seeing that. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot.
and working with them guys a lot. I'm doing a lot of pop-up shows for cannabis culture.
It's a culture.
Yeah.
It's older than hip hop.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, DJing every day, anywhere from I could be here right now in Atlantic City, be in Philly, have double shows, be in Philly one moment, Atlantic City, then shoot to some state, some club, somewhere, any given time. I'm like, it's everything. I don't have no schedule. It's just like somebody will call me like, yo, can you come to this club and rock out, or yo, can you go cover this club over here, or, and it'd be, I'll just be out. Just catch a flight, or
That's
just
the
go
life,
get this
though.
money
That's the
wherever
life
it's at.
And
Getting to
planes,
that
trains, automobiles, whatever.
I
to
gotta
that
get
bag.
to just go get to this money now, man. Cause
That's it.
it's a new life. It's time to take over.
But you know
Life's
what,
too
though?
short, man.
Life is too short, but let me just ask you about this. Because for like the past 2 years, we've all been living in the pandemic era, because that's what it is, pandemic era. How has your adjustment been for DJing in the area? Because remember when everything shut down for a good minute, stuff that I would rely on, like, you know what, I'll just DJ a couple of gigs. I need to knock out a bill real quick. Oh, let me just take this gig real quick. That option got cut out right away.
For some people, yes.
For a lot of people.
Not for me, though.
I will say this much.
I never stopped, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
I just readjusted, man.
I had to stop because, quite honestly, people were being a little too reckless for my personal taste. And I know a lot of DJs have had different opinions on this. But I had to do what was comfortable for me.
Everybody has to do that.
And if I felt like, I'm like, you know what? The first summer of COVID, I did nothing but outdoor events.
Right.
Outdoor events with space in between me. Y'all stay over there. I'll be over here.
I'm opposite.
When the winter came, I'm like, well, I still got my day job for a minute. And thankfully, when my day job, they had to put everybody to stop working.
Right.
Them government checks kicked in at the right time.
Okay.
So, having a few resources saved up because I saw it coming. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I can afford to take this break. And it was the best rest of my life. It gave me a perception of what retirement would actually feel like. Because when people retire, they go through an anxiety. They're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to live? The COVID pandemic break, I was so relaxed. I'm like, you know what? Well, if this is what retirement is, I am not running for it when it's my time.
Well, for me, I never. Pandemic was the best and worst thing for me. All it did was show me that my whole life I've been in COVID. It shut down. Right. But I mean, I'm a prophet of adapting and adjusting to everything and anything in my life. So when it happened, it really shut my whole world down because I was just DJing and barbering. And they shut me down from DJing in the clubs, bars, or any gatherings. And they shut me down from cutting hair and working any barbershop salon or anything had to do with that.
But you know what though? I noticed that the barbers, some of them went rogue. And it's like, you know what? You can't cut the shop? No problem.
I mean, I cut out the back of my truck.
We're going to take it back to the door-to-door service.
I really cut out the back of my pickup truck.
I saw that too.
I really did that. I had a whole barber chair and everything. I just learned how to adjust. But what I was saying, it shut me down and I couldn't collect unemployment. So I was out and I still had to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So instead of crying about it and complaining about government, this, that, and the third, I just adjusted to what my life is because I've been in the mud all my life. So I just, I got it good and bad. So I love my parents. They're still together 43 years and raised me right, working for, where they've been working at for 43 years. And so they raised me right. I still had the parents. But my whole family, we're in the streets. So I got best of both worlds here. So it taught me how to be a hustler. My father taught me how to be a provider. So I adjusted, man, and the streets taught me how to hustle. So I transferred.
I definitely would say the pandemic, it brought out your hustle spirit.
Everything.
It made everybody adjust, and you had to really show and prove that you could adjust and adapt to certain situations. Some people didn't adapt very well.
Right, they did, and it was sad for that part that you couldn't recover. But for me, my personal opinion, I had to adjust. I mean, Atlanta, like I said, I'm part of this coalition, and we have 17 different states, 17 different chapters, so they were wide open. They never shut down. So
Yeah,
I
Georgia,
just
Georgia,
took it down to the south.
It was like pandemic what?
Texas,
I
too.
mean, we were
Texas,
flooded in the club where most people were like, if you was feeling that way, Abel, you would never be a part of this, because this was everybody. I mean, 100 deep in the club, like it was nothing. In Florida as well. So
I tell you like this. I wasn't doing the inside joints.
yeah.
And anytime I went inside, I made sure I had the mask.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even then, the funny thing about it is, I don't have a large circle. I don't go crew deep like that anyway. So it was easy for me to
Right.
navigate in my small little
Area.
yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I did that. I did the mobile door-to-door cuts, and at the time I had a pickup truck, so I just was cutting out the back of the truck. It was wide open.
Yeah.
I did little products up
Especially if you
there.
got an 8-foot bed, yeah.
And then
But you know-
I actually went on the internet, this little internet streaming site where they paid you actually to host on there. So actually, I just took the DJing on there, and they paid you a check monthly. They cut a check, and depending on however much you got gifted is how much you got paid by tiers.
Yeah.
And with that, and then I ended up getting a job at a part time at a car dealership here in Jersey. So in between that, it was part time minimum wage, and back then minimum wage was only like $7 at that time, $8, $8.50, whatever. And I was only working like 2-3 days out of that for a couple of hours, so it wasn't enough to pay the bills. But between everything together with me just not wanting to stop and not hustle and not stop my grind,
Yeah.
I just adapted and never stopped. Actually picked up more.
COVID for me, bro. COVID, I got so much done.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, my hustle just went through the roof.
Bro.
Like, I was just seeing opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I was getting cabin fever. Can't stay in the house. I can't sit there. I done beat every game on the PlayStation. Watched The Wire about 4 times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All these series. It's like, now I gotta get out here and go do something. I can't
Right.
sit here.
Right.
And I just started going out and finding all these different hustles.
Right.
man. Like,
Everything in life
everything.
is a hustle.
Everything.
And then also, I went through Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans back in 2005. So I also went through pandemic already through there.
Yeah.
So I already learned
Yeah.
through that how to survive, because they shut everything down. Everything was shut down. Hurricane Katrina destroyed
Yeah.
everything. So, I mean, I learned how to keep grinding during that. I mean, they were selling bags of ice at Walmart for $10.
Yeah.
They was charging $100 just to go inside Walmart. You know what I mean? At that time, so it was like I really had to learn. And at that time, I was tattooing as a career, and we was the only tattoo shop open because we had a little trailer with a little generator. So that man taught me how to tattoo. Mitchell Guidry, he's the one that taught me how to tattoo, and who I was down there in New Orleans with. So during that hurricane experience, that taught me how to adjust for pandemic.
Like I tell people all the time, like, if you from the hood, we born in a pandemic.
Right, that's what.
So it ain't nothing new but to be struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But look, man, we gotta get back into some more music. We got like 30 minutes before we go off the air.
Is
But
that
before
quick already?
Before we go off, I gotta do a quick public service announcement for. Stockton is gonna have a hip hop and spoken word showcase in the campus center. It's gonna be at 4:30 p.m. on April 26th. Demetrius Austin, who is the professor of Africana Studies, is one of the people organizing it. I'm hoping to have an interview with her because she hit me up today. She couldn't make it to the studio, but I'm gonna record the conversation with her so we can play it on next week's show.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's an event that's coming up here on campus. Hip hop and spoken word showcase.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, man.
That's gonna be dope.
I love when I see things that I love start to sprout on campus.
Yeah.
And hopefully, what I would really like to see, I would like to invite more students to come up to the station, because eventually I'm gonna have to stop one day.
Yeah.
Not today, no time. But it's time for these youngins to get educated on this thing called music, to keep this tradition going.
And get inspired.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get inspired.
that's it.
And really, really get inspired, because it could change your life.
Yeah. And save mine. I'll say that for a fact.
You gotta start
Music-
living off your talents, man. If you're living off your talents, if your talents are making you money, you would never feel like you're working a day in your life, I promise.
You know how many of the young generation don't even realize their talents or their power?
That's why I try to break jewels
Yes.
to everybody I can. Be a
Yes.
blessing to people's life instead of a lesson, and that's my goal in life. Man.
Right. Well, look, we're about to get into some more music.
All right.
Before you get back onto your set, I gotta play this Pusha T and Jay-Z song, Nigga Rich. I got this because I need to hear it. I just need to hear it. I'm kind of old. I like when the older dudes are still making music.
That song is making a lot of waves, man.
It's not my problem.
It's circulating.
WLFR 91.7. And we about to get up out of here. Gotta thank my man DJ Acting Up
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
for
man.
acting up. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
We ain't the same from before, huh? It turned up.
Yeah, man. Yo, but it's funny watching you go from the quiet, calm, reserved, and then to the acting up.
DJ acting up, huh?
Yeah, man.
So let the people know where they can find you, all the socials, websites, the whole deal.
So right now, I got 2 sites. Well, it's 4 sites, but right now, DJ Acting Up part is DJ ActingUp on IG. It's all one word. Or you can look me up on Barber Hero, one word. Also, for my barbering, if you want to tap in, come get shaped up. I have a shop out in Blackwood on 4120 East Black Horse Pike. It's called Visionary Cuts, and we in there Monday through Saturday, as well as my DJing. You can find me on Wednesdays on Blockaware Radio. You can look that up in your app store, Blockaware, and on YouTube, Blockaware Radio. On Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Acting Up with DJ Acting Up, and you can find me in all kinds of clubs. Like I said, in the marijuana scene for the pop-up shops and stuff like that all over. You can follow that. Like right now, that's my big thing, right, where I'm in DJing every day right now. I've always been an activist in there in the cannabis culture. So basically with that, flying right now, I'm about to go turn up in Miami with the Coalition DJs out there at the joint in Miami. Also, we shutting down the block on Saturday the 16th out in Trenton at the NJ Weedman spot. We got a whole block party.
Okay.
A bunch of different DJs. Coalition DJs is on there. DJ Alamo being the main DJ. And we're gonna have a party out there as well as here too. I will be off of Florida Ave from 4 to 12 on Saturday as well. So I'll be going from Trenton to Atlantic City. That's how my life goes. So I'll be out in Trenton from 12 to 2 out there. I'm starting it off. I'll be starting off the event from 12 to 2 if you want to come check us out. Other than that, the whole Coalition team is be out there. Just shutting it down. I got a bunch of artists out there that's going to be performing. This is a whole block party. I mean, this thing is going to be out there. We shutting down Trenton. And then I'll be traveling over here to Atlantic City, setting up for what I do, you know. And then Tuesdays in Philly, I'll be at L Lounge from 5 to 11, 6 to 11, under L Lounge. Like I said, Wednesday, the podcast. Also Wednesday, we have new music Wednesday. I mean, I'm gonna sit here forever.
You moving and shaking,
I got,
man.
every day I got something for you, trying to tap in somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's April 16th.
April 16th, this Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday.
All right. Y'all got 7 days, man.
7 days to get
Yeah.
ready.
Also, April 16th, man, I'm bringing the brother DJ Crazy with his new hit single, "Shake That." You know, on
Shake
the
that
boat.
booty.
Yeah, on the on the boat party right here at the Garden Basin.
Well, is it already
And this
boat
is
party
all the-
season?
this is-
Yeah, we
all
all
the
ready,
same
man.
day.
Yeah, man.
Whoop!
Okay.
Yeah, brother.
You a
I
bad
have
man,
A
bro.
lot of things to do. Also, there's an after party for that at Coco's, from 12 to 3. So I mean, there's so much stuff I do in one day, man. It's hard to catch up with me. But let's roll.
Yeah, sleep is for the week.
Hey,
I
man,
see
I
that.
never slept.
I see
Ever
that.
since a kid, I never got. I used to be the first one up in my household, 6 years old, catch them Saturday, Sunday shows.
Yeah, man. Well, yo, we about to get up out of here. It's been another great week of music. I'm refreshed from my trip, so I'll be honest with you, man. The radio show is the only thing that made me, you know, not feel upset over leaving 80-degree weather. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I was relaxed, laid back, having a great time. Good music, good food. A lot of good drinking down south, man. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of strong drinks.
Yes, sir.
Strong.
Just stay away from them
You
jars.
gotta get in shape.
Yeah,
You
them
gotta
jars
get in
and
shape
fish bowls.
to drink down south. You have to work out for the, yeah, you got to. But on a serious note, before we get up out of here, I have to give peace condolences to the family of a DJ who I've known for years, Anthony Albano Jr. He passed on March 26th, and they had his funeral today.
Really?
I've known him since high school. He was always a good dude. It's not like me and him were like best friends, but we weren't enemies either. We were just people who knew each other, and we did a lot of the same things as far as this thing called music and DJing. And he DJed in a lot of spots in Atlantic City back in the day.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he held down Deja Vu when Deja Vu was that spot for real. So I just wanted to give my condolences to his friends and his family. So,
Right.
so yeah, so we're about to get up out of here. Next week, who knows who's gonna be up here next week? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Don't know. But it's always gonna be a good time. It's always gonna be good conversation. And it's always gonna be great music. WLFR 91.7 Soul Revival. And we're about to get up out of here. Yeah.